Hey, thank you so much for being back with us today. Rudy and I are here and sitting at Frickin' Frack. We have a little bit different background, so hopefully the sun won't fade in and out on our video. This is amateur photography, maybe at its lowest point, but we're trying, all right?
Not bad, though.
Not bad. We're going to look at chapter 11. This is a glorious chapter, and it speaks about Jesus. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to turn to Rudy and have him do some wonderful talking, all right? Verse 1. A shoot shall come out of the stump of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. The Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, spirit of wisdom and understanding, spirit of counsel and might, spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. He shall delight in the fear of the Lord. He shall not judge by what his eyes see or decide by what his ears hear, but with righteousness he will judge the poor, and with equity the meek of the earth. And in verse 5, righteousness shall be the belt around his waist, and faithfulness a belt around his loins. Rudy, why don't you spend some time talking about that?
Well, this is without a doubt talking about Jesus.
Right.
And it's important, I guess, to understand the genealogy. Jesse is David's father. And really the promises that we enter into that came out of Jeremiah are all tied to David's lineage, because God promised David that there would be somebody sitting on his throne forever. That person is Jesus, and that's another one of the reasons that the Gospel of Luke and the Gospel of Matthew have Mary and Joseph's genealogies
Right.
in them.
You know, an interesting point, Rudy, is when this was written, and actually throughout history, there have been really bad people sitting on the throne.
Oh yeah.
And the Lord says, hang on, there's a good one coming.
Right, and he's clothed with this belt and this breastplate, and really these are all part of the accoutrements of the high priest, of which Jesus is the high priest. But even though this passage was written 300 years after David's death,
Right.
there were passages that Moses was told about, especially Genesis 49, which happened, Genesis 49 happened probably 1800 BC.
Right.
And Jacob was blessing his sons. And one of the blessings that he spoke over Judah was that the martial staff will never move from between your ankles, which means the king will come through Judah, of which Judah is the relative of David,
Right.
the relative of Jesus.
Right.
So the story was written before God said, "Let there be light."
Right.
So
Let me jump in and just let's get some of these words, okay? So this is Jesus. You think about it: a spirit of wisdom and
Who else?
understand. That's right. And understanding, counsel and might, knowledge, and you talked about it yesterday, and the fear of the Lord.
yeah,
All right, and then he will delight in the fear of the Lord. You know, one of the things you might do is you think about Jesus and you think about people in your life. You might turn these verses into prayers for them. Pray for Rudy and me, that we would be wise and understanding. Pray for the leaders of our country. Pray for the leaders of our world, that they would have a spirit of wisdom and understanding, that they would delight in the fear of the Lord. Pray for that. And then, can I just talk a little longer?
Sure.
This phrase, righteousness and judgment, righteousness and justice, excuse me, they keep coming up. They are the hallmarks of God's kingdom, and they're the hallmarks of the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Why don't you have the last word on this, Rudy?
well, righteousness, till about 150 years ago, was really understood righteous, and righteous has a relationship to the right hand of God. Basically, that we would be at the right hand of God, which ultimately means we would be in heaven with him for all eternity. And faith, because we believe, we are accounted righteous. We'll be able to be on his right side, not his left side. Justice has to do with him being the only one that is just. When we look back at ourselves, look back through history, there really has never been a truly just person. So I think that's where righteousness and justice have this eternal clothing.
Right. So we can pray for our leaders. We can pray for ourselves that we will have the fullest measure we can have of that until the Lord fixes it up completely. Let's ask for that. And let's be certain to thank God for this Messiah, Jesus Christ, who came to fulfill this in our world. Rudy, thank you. There is so much more we could say about this.
Yes.
And we're just going to give you like an appetizer today. Dig into it for yourself and see the glories that God has for you. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow.